All right, so what's going on here with James O'Keefe from O'Keefe Media Group? World exclusive bombshell. Senior DOJ, Department of Justice, Epstein investigator reveals that Epstein was CIA. He confirms that rapes occurred while Bill Clinton was on planes, says of President Trump that he was protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there. Quote, I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and the rapes occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. The Department of Justice didn't want to go after him, Epstein, because he's an asset for the United States and Israel. It's not talked about yet, but it's soon to come out that he, Epstein, was a CIA informant. Bombshell. Major bombshell. Bombshell from James O'Keefe. DOJ investigator Prager reached out offering a response to our report. So this is the response following the hidden video. Quote, I was approached in what I believed was a casual, non-professional context, and I later learned the individual was misrepresenting themselves. Thinking it was simply personal banter, I responded in kind. Any remarks from that exchange should not be interpreted as accurate statements or reflective of my actual work, conduct, or opinions. I want to ensure there is no confusion caused by that misleading interaction. Please stop calling and texting. It's approaching harassment. Printing any story related to my opinion is misleading and is completely inaccurate. To make it perfectly clear, I was not involved in any way, and any opinions are based on public information. Interesting. Very interesting. So, this seems to always happen, right? This seems to always happen with James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe catches these people, barefoot. He catches them with their pants down, and then they come out and they're like, "Oh, I just thought it was casual conversation. I just thought it was casual conversation." Well, I'm sorry. I would assume that in casual conversation, you're being more honest than your professional opinion that could get you fired, depending on what you say. I would assume that in passing conversation, you'd be actually a little bit more honest, because you don't think there's any repercussions of being actually honest with the person. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Right? Bomb sell is what we do. Yeah, we sell bombs. Or did Israel offer us use of their agent? Yeah, that's right. Well, right. So in casual conversation, they're lying to randomers at the time on the streets, or yeah, either you're lying to random people on the streets or you're lying in a professional manner. Which is it? Either, because both can't be true. And I mean, both are bad because that just means you're a liar. So either way, you're a liar at the end of this.
It's not talked about yet, but it'll soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people.
Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax of the case, like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, you know it's not a hoax. He's been on the plane, many times. Mm-hmm. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids.
I've seen the itineraries, and
that's a DOJ investigator saying that, yeah, Trump was on Epstein's plane many times. He wasn't on the plane with any kids, but he was on the plane many times. This is a DOJ investigator. His title is Jeffrey Epstein Investigator. He did work. He no longer does because he was fired because of this. He worked for the Department of Justice as a Jeffrey Epstein Investigator. If anyone knows anything about anything, it would be him. It would be him.
I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. While the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred.
Overheard at Phoenix Airport on September 8th, 2025, a senior Justice Department investigator who personally worked on the Epstein case tells all. Glenn Prager, who has reviewed Epstein's itineraries and has interviewed Epstein's victims, drops a bombshell. He says that the DOJ did not want to go after Epstein because he's a CIA asset, that the evidence from his investigation confirms that Bill Clinton was present for alleged rapes on the Lolita Express, and that President
What that sounds like is the CIA used Jeffrey Epstein in order to get dirt on Bill Clinton so that way they can make him do whatever they wanted. The deep state. This is what we mean by the deep state, guys. It's people working in the shadows, setting up honeypots to get powerful people incriminated so that they can use those powerful people to work from the shadows. That's exactly what we mean when we talk about the deep state. It's these people, whoever is concocting this behind the scenes, that's the deep state.
President Trump was not present for the rapes that Glenn Prager investigated, but that he is protecting a lot of other people that were.
How about this whole Epstein thing that's like going down?
So I worked on that case. I used to interview all the victims. And my picture was 20 to 30 victims, in Palm Beach that I was interviewing and dealing with and stuff like that.
Look, this guy can come out and make an official statement being like, oh no, I just thought it was casual conversation. Dude, you seem pretty genuine right here. You're like, you lean in, you're like, I actually was an investigator. I interviewed all the victims. And then he goes into detail about what happened. Dude, it leads me to believe that you're being honest here. You're not being honest in your official capacity.
And we go ready to go to trial, and they would flip. Epstein would just pay them off, and they were just like these little kids. They pay off their family. They're all broke kids and poor families, and so you pay them off like anywhere from $150,000 to $500,000. Nothing in that guy's world.
Prager there describes how the victims that he interviewed were paid off by Epstein right before going to trial. Prager has worked as an investigator inside the Department of Justice for over 20 years. According to Prager's LinkedIn About page, it says that during the tenure at DOJ, Prager served as an inspector overseeing sensitive investigations involving major DOJ components, including the FBI, DEA, Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Marshal Service, ATF, and the U.S. Attorney's offices. This seems to corroborate what Prager told us. He was tasked with interviewing Epstein's rape victims and investigating flight logs. On his backpack in the airport, we spotted an embroidered FBI patch, which caught the attention of our citizen journalist.
I'll tell you this, because no, it's not talked about yet, but it'll soon come out.
See, this is what should terrify the deep state. Citizen journalist. How much do you want to bet that this wasn't even staged? This just was happenstance. This happened to be a person that knows how to do this stuff, that knows how to pull out a camera and record things in a concealed manner, and then was like, hang on, who's this guy looks familiar. Like, I bet they didn't even target this guy. This just was happenstance, as with most of these things. So sure, a lot of these people, they set them up on dates and stuff, but this guy's like on a plane or something like that. This just was pure coincidence, and this guy was just like, oh yeah, sure, let me, you're sparking up conversation with me, let me just divulge all these details because you're not recording me, and no one would ever believe you if you went and repeated it. Oh crap, you were recording. Oops.
That he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
He wasn't a CIA informant.
Although many have suspected it to be the case, this is the first time a Department of Justice official has confirmed that Epstein worked for the CIA and is a foreign asset.
So DOJ was settling a case, and they were just letting him, do house arrest and they minimized his arrest. Part of that is because all the victims kept on flipping, and they didn't have anyone to go to trial with. The more importantly part is they didn't want to go after him. He's a asset for the United States and Israel.
Boom, right there. Dude, that just sent chills up my back. That the most important part, let's read that again. The most important part is that the DOJ, didn't want to go after him, Epstein, because he's an asset for the United States and Israel. For the CIA. It's what we've always known. It's like we've always known that. We've always known this. This has always been the theory. And they just keep telling us, keep lying to our faces. Oh, no, that's not the case. That's not the case. We're trying to release these files. We're trying to get the information to you guys. No, the fuck you're not. No, the fuck you're not. You know exactly what he was doing because you put him up to it. You and Israel put him up to it. So how many people in our government actually are controlled by Israel? How many people in our government are controlled by the CIA? We have the evidence now. We have a Jeffrey Epstein investigator who's worked in the Department of Justice for over 20 years coming out and saying that he worked for the United States CIA department and Israeli intelligence. Bye-bye, YouTube. You're going to love this. Bye-bye, YouTube. What's that say on the screen right there? The most important part is that the DOJ didn't want to go after him, Epstein, because he's an asset for the United States and Israel for the CIA. Epstein worked for Israel and the CIA. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Believe the guy that's worked on it for 20 years.
CIA. I just know that's what he was. And that's why he was protected so long for this. And people turned a blind eye about all this garbage that he was doing in the United States. He had a lot of secrets. More about Israeli stuff than anything else. I mean, he was doing stuff for Israel and the United States. He was, he's working for both.
Glenn Prager,
Wow.
the Department of Justice investigator on
Wow.
the Epstein case, then talks about whether President Trump
Just nonchalantly telling a citizen. You're just telling a random citizen you met on an airplane. Oh, yeah. Epstein, I interviewed all his victims. It's very well known that he worked for Israel and the United States, actually. It's just common knowledge. It's just common knowledge. This guy's talking like just everybody knows this. It's just common knowledge, Everybody knows that.
was involved. Many are
And if Trump knows some of his co-workers are pedo rapists, what the fuck is he doing protecting them? What could they have on Trump to prompt this protection? Or worse, does Trump think they did no wrong? Not much. What's up? Yeah, what's up, guys? What's up, Rage Flowers? I see you in the chat too. That's a good question, Sean. If Trump was not implicated in all this and he is defending other people around him, why? Why would he defend these sick, disgusting people that shouldn't be a part of society? Why would he do that? The devil's what is it? What is it? Devil's advocate? Whatever. But to be a contrarian on this, right? You could say, oh well, he doesn't want to go after these people because if he goes after these people, then it could collapse the country. Okay, collapse the country. If the option is let a bunch of pedos and rapists walk free and continue to control the government, or we collapse the country. Okay, collapse the country. Play devil's advocate. Yeah, sorry, I'm blanking on it. Because what's the point of giving them up if the country completely falls apart? Okay, well, what's the point of continuing the country if it's run by pedos and rapists? You know what I mean? I don't want to live in a country ruled by these people. Let it collapse.
trying to tie Trump to Epstein, but what Glenn Prager says is that Trump wasn't present during the inappropriate sexual behavior that he was investigating. But Prager does say that Bill Clinton was, backed up by his experience interviewing the victims and reviewing the Epstein Lolita Express itineraries. Quote, "They killed the Epstein list to protect the Clintons."
They claim that, that Trump's, involved in the rapes and all that stuff, and he wasn't. I mean, I've seen the agendas, I've seen the itineraries, and I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. I remember that it was being killed because I know Clintons were on there. And
The Clintons were on there.
100%. And while the Clintons were on the plane,
Jeffrey Epstein investigator Glenn Prager confirming that 100% the Clintons are on that list. The Clintons are on that Jeffrey Epstein list.
Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred. And that's what I'm saying. Trump, although as many flights as there were and all that kind of stuff, and on the island and all that stuff, he was never there during a single alleged rape. But that Clinton for sure. And that's where the big cover-up was.
The Department of Justice investigator inside the Trump Justice Department says that while Trump may not have been present during the crimes that Prager investigated.
So to address Bush in the chat, he said people say that, but you're just going to end up dead like the 75% of the rest of the country. It's a lose-lose situation. That Bush, what you're talking about there is a complete and total collapse. I don't think a complete and total collapse would happen. What I actually see happening is that if these people got exposed, there would be a revolution of the people overnight. It wouldn't be the 75% of the average people dying. It would be all the people in the elites dying. And there would be a lot of people caught in that crossfire that wouldn't deserve it. But at the same time, If we're ruled by a bunch of sick people that want to take advantage of us, eventually the people rise up. I mean, the country falling apart will kill millions. That's assuming that it falls apart to the degree that you think it would. I don't think it would fall apart to that extent. Especially if you expose these people.
It is clear that Trump is, quote, protecting a lot of people.
I don't know what's new that I have never seen that he's so hesitant to now show what's going on, and releasing all these files and stuff like that. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people.
The citizen journalist boarded American Airlines Flight 1634 and landed in D.C. Monday at 8 o'clock at night and proceeded to go to dinner with this man, this DOJ investigator, at a restaurant called Blue Duck Tavern. Glenn Prager dislikes the fact Trump said the Epstein scandal is a hoax, but he also says, according to the evidence from his investigation, that Trump is not covering up for himself.
Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax, it's the case like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, you know it's not a hoace. He says a lot of stupid stuff. He's been on the plane, many times. Mm-hmm. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids. People want to tie it to him and say he's covering up for himself, but he's not.
Now, this is a very
the chat's going off. I see you guys in the chat. You don't think that if the country has a civil war, that we would not get invaded by China? Oh, no. That we would definitely get... foreign adversaries would absolutely take advantage of it. Would they invade? I don't know if they would invade, but they would definitely, at least, the very minimum, they would supply one side or the other, or both, just to watch us kill each other. Invading? I don't know. Maybe. It's likely. It'll make the French Revolution look like a day in the park. 98% of people are too lazy. I don't agree, Bush. There's not going to be a civil war. 9/11 is exposing it all. People get it. Or Russia, or at this point, the cartels. Every one of our adversaries would take advantage. We could fix the financial system, and we, the people, would just keep using the same dollars we have now, fix the back end, and nothing collapses. Well, see, I think part of the issue that we see this civil war that's happening right now, and I talked about it yesterday. I went on a big rant about how we're in the civil war now. The civil war is only happening because these people don't want to be exposed. They know that as long as we're fighting on the ground with the common man, that they can keep doing what they're doing. It's always been like this. And this is the kind of stuff that gets me shot, right? Because if I'm sitting here telling you guys, if we come together because they're trying to divide us, we can win back the country. But they don't want us to come together. They don't want us to come together because the people at the top and the people that actually control this government want you divided and fighting with each other. That way you're busy doing that and not focusing on them raping kids.
good thing for President Trump and seemingly exonerates him from many people who claim that he was doing something inappropriate himself. This dinner went on for an hour and 45 minutes as this Department of Justice investigator revealed things to a stranger that the leadership of the FBI and the Department of Justice has not. Prager revealed more information about Trump's hesitation to be fully transparent with the Epstein case, gave us some details about internal gripes against FBI Director Kash Patel from within the FBI.
I love James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe's so awesome.
A developing feud between Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi. If you'd like to see more of that conversation in the restaurant, you may subscribe to OMG and find it on our website.
Who was like the one name where you're like, oh my God?
What
Here
is
he
this?
is. Hey there, is this Glenn?
Ooh.
You work for the Department of Justice, correct?
No.
You don't work for the Department of Justice. You had a patch on your backpack that said FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, in the airport.
Yeah.
And you talked about how you interviewed the Epstein people, all the Epstein victims. Do you recall that conversation?
I didn't. No. No. How can I help you?
I wanted to confirm that you, in fact, did work for the department. Hang on with the phone. Let's try calling him again. Glenn?
I'm not talking to you.
Well,
I don't know who you are. I'm not talking to you.
You already did speak to my friend.
James getting frustrated.
Hey, now stop talking. I don't know who you are.
I'm a journalist. I need your help, sir.
I'm not talking to you or any journalist about anything.
Did you interview the Epstein victims?
I can't talk to you.
Sir.
Perfectly fine talking to a stranger in an airport, but James O'Keefe calls you and you're like, no, can't talk to you, buddy, can't talk to you. But you're perfectly fine divulging all this information to a perfect stranger. Absolute stranger.
Of releasing this story, I wanted to emphasize just how touching it was for me to see Erica Kirk stand on stage in front of those 74,000 people in a stadium and say that she forgives the assassin who killed her husband, Charlie Kirk. I actually took this photo standing right in front of her when she did that, and I wept. The people standing next to me also wept. In the couple days that followed since that Sunday, it dawned upon me that equally as important as forgiving those who trespass against us is for those of us, the living, to achieve justice and accountability for the bad actors behind the scenes corrupting this country. We must have a Department of Justice that is actually about justice. If we do not have any accountability for bad actors, good people, even God-fearing people, are going to resort not to forgiveness, but vengeance. We cannot allow that to happen. And the only solution is exposure, journalism, sunlight, as the best disinfectant. When the leadership in our government is not forthcoming and transparent about matters,
I think this is just a James monologue now.
You will see men on the front lines, men on the inside, like this Glenn Prager guy, who are familiar with the files, familiar with Epstein, familiar with who's on the airplanes. Indeed, he's the guy who actually interviewed all the victims in Palm Beach. Well, you'll see people like this be forthcoming and honest when their leadership isn't. I recognized Prager's life is now changed forever. You might be tempted to focus on that and focus on him personally.
All over YouTube.
We have no doubt that no matter
James
how
O'Keefe
much
is all over
truth is
YouTube.
provided by me, the powers that be will deny, deflect, personalize, and cover all of this up. You may wonder how it is these guys in our government so brazenly open up to total strangers in airports about national security secrets. Please note, this isn't about him or Glenn Prager. It's about opening the floodgates of honesty from other men who are just like Glenn Prager, but who never wanted to be involved. We're just following orders. Prager lived with these secrets, and the horror of what he knows lives on his conscience, the weight on his shoulders. He lives with the guilt for knowing the truth. That is why he was so forthcoming in public in the airport. That is why others with national security secrets will continue to be so forthcoming to our army of citizen exposers.
James actually hits the nail on the head there. The reason this guy, this is how you know that this guy is being honest here when he's on these recorded, these hidden cameras. The guy's being honest because this obviously weighs heavy on him. Imagine walking around every day knowing this information like, oh my God, the government's controlled by pedophiles and our government is sanctioning it or helping the Israelis do it. Like, you know all this information. You're not allowed to say anything about it. You're not allowed to press charges against anybody. And this is just weighing you down. Eventually, you're going to start talking to people and you'll be in an airport and just start divulging all this information that you really shouldn't be divulging. And that's exactly what happened.
And there are many more out there like Glenn Prager. And now, right now, you who are watching must come forward and tell the truth and be transparent. Be a hero and do the right thing. In the last few weeks, I've reached out to top officials of the Department of Justice repeatedly ahead of these reports. Our attorneys even sent a letter to the FBI Director Kash Patel. There seems to be more of an interest, generally speaking, in covering their ass instead of telling the truth. While we expect that of the previous administrations, we expect better of the Trump administration and those who campaigned on the promise of transparency. Now, I was advised that reaching out far ahead of time would lead to this story being suppressed, something that my team, and I dare say all of the people who actually voted for this administration, can't comprehend. But these reports are going to continue coming out, and they will not be partisan or political. They're going to cut across the political divide, because this is not a political mission, and I am not a political person. It is my mission to clean up society through transparency, accountability, and the truth. I wrote last week, the legacy of Charlie Kirk is to do the right thing for the right reasons. And reflecting on his legacy, I saw a remarkable change within him in the last couple years, but especially the last couple months of observing him from afar and also knowing him personally. I reached out to Charlie to solicit his advice ahead of this story. I was expecting Charlie Kirk to express the same reluctance as the top DOJ officials relayed to me. The same officials that Charlie, no doubt, in some part or in some way, matter, shape, or form, helped to get their jobs in the first place. I told Charlie I was conflicted about what to do. And Charlie Kirk's last words to me were, "James, you should be a journalist first."
Well, there you guys have it. I mean, I think it really speaks for itself. It really does. And then look, he tagged Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice. This is absolutely insane. Are people actually going to cover this story? Probably not. People already aren't covering the story. I tried to look at it while we were getting into things this morning, and people just aren't really covering it. Excuse me. Let's see. We have an update here. Let's click over here. This is from O'Keefe Media Group. You guys need to go follow them if you're not following them. Go follow O'Keefe Media Group. Follow James O'Keefe. Go and support him if you can. He's a lot. If you're gonna support anybody, if you're gonna send money to anybody, send it to James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe is doing the real work here. I'm just sitting here talking about it. He's actually on the ground getting these people to do things. So here's the update here. Update, Department of Justice investigator deletes LinkedIn profile following his comments on the Epstein case. According to his profile, quote, Mr. Prager served as an inspector overseeing sensitive investigations involving major DOJ components, including the FBI, DEA, Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Marshals Service, ATF, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. So this is what it looked like before on his LinkedIn. You can see he's got his full name, Inspector General, where he lives, or his residence or whatever, and it is now gone. He has deleted it. This is an update to this story here. And then it looks like O'Keefe Media Group has an article on it, which we already went through the video, which this probably just rehashes the video. Yeah, this just rehashes the video. Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy, crazy stuff. Let me read some of your guys' chats before we move on here. Absolutely insane. It doesn't surprise me though. Just like the story in relation to the organ harvesting stuff, that's another story where we're like, yeah, we kind of already knew that was happening, but now we have evidence for it. Now we have government officials outright saying, yes, this is happening, and it should be major news. Are people going to talk about it? I don't know. Probably not. People don't like to talk about this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that gets swept under the rug. This is the kind of stuff that you talk about it too much, they will silence you. That's what worries me. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Let me scroll up a little bit here. YouTube wouldn't be delisting 9/11 stuff otherwise. They can't stop it now. Rage Flowers, at Sean. Yeah, I brought it up on my last gig, and all the silly lefties thought I was memeing. Boosh, like I said before, this is only my only full black pill. I just don't think anything will change or happen with this. 100 witnesses could come out, and I still think it's going to make no difference. I think the issue there, Boosh, with the nothing ever happens crowd is that we live in an age of instant information. So people are so used to getting things instantly. Oh, here, I was reading some other stuff. Getting information instantly, and if that stuff isn't happening instantly, then people are like, oh, nothing's happening. I don't see that. What I see is that this is a slow drip. We're getting more and more information, and eventually the grains of sand will make a heap, and people won't be able to ignore it. Trump needs to arrest the radical communist state governors as a means to protect the constitutional rights of Americans living in places like California. Sean, if that happens, that will immediately create kinetic conflict. I don't advocate for that. Only do it in cases where they're obviously breaking the law. Otherwise, you have to be careful about how you go about that, because that will absolutely start a full kinetic civil war if we just start going around arresting all the governors. Absolution, you don't have to be religious and go sit in a box to confess. Talking allows them to get it out, makes them feel better because it is now shared with another person outside the issue. Exactly. And that leads me to believe that he was being honest when he was talking to this person on the plane. Trump is one of them, and we the people need to take control. It's obvious Mossad has the video. Yeah, it's hard to argue with. Bye-bye, YouTube. It's hard to argue there. Let's see. Yes, Mary, That's what these people are seeking. They do it instinctively. They aren't covering Vietnam. Oh, wait. I appreciate you, Tyler. Keep bringing us the deep news. Hey, I try to bring you guys some good news. They aren't covering Vietnam either because we are maybe a year away from them doing it to us. The data centers are going in fast. Yeah, I am not looking forward to the central bank digital currency. I keep telling people, refuse to service places that won't accept cash. And you should always have cash on hand. You should always try to use cash. Right now, it's a race for the central bank digital currency. Yep. I think a lot of diehard Trumpers, I call it Trump deferment. Trump deferment. Oh, okay, because they're deferring to him. Tuned out of Epstein when Trump told them to. So there's a smaller appetite for this than there should be. Yep. Well, see, that's the issue, is that this is a bipartisan issue, guys. This is not an issue on one side or the other. This is a both party issue that seem to just want to keep this covered up. Let's see. Sad because I was alive in 9/11. Trump, Epstein was on national TV. Damn. O'Keefe. Let's see. O'Keefe has had at least 5 major stories in the last few, with his last few stories, and nothing has been done about it. Nothing ever happens. Yeah, James O'Keefe is putting out some major exposés on people, and usually they don't go anywhere. It's unfortunate. Trump deferment syndrome. Yep, Trump deferment syndrome. Definitely a slow drip, like the molasses drip experiment slow. Yeah, actually, Boosh, that's a good comparison. Because every 9 years we get something major, right? Same as Nepal. They don't want us seeing Nepal, and they don't want us seeing Vietnam. I hear you, Tyler, is our modern day... I hear Tyler is our modern day Walter Cronkite. Thank you, Mighty Pete. I appreciate you guys in the chat. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. That's the story. That's what we have on James O'Keefe today. Let's move it on. I heard that too. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I had...